Hello everyone, now we will continue following the story of One Piece. Right now, Luffy and Zoro want to travel to the Grand Line, but neither of them knows how to navigate, so they just let the boat drift with the wind. Now they are very hungry and don't know where to find food. Then they saw a bird flying in the sky, and Luffy had an idea to catch and eat it. When he used himself as a slingshot to shoot, it wasn't Luffy who caught the bird, but the bird caught Luffy instead. Seeing that, Zoro quickly rowed the boat to help. On the way, he allowed 3 pirates who were drifting in the water to hold onto his boat. Once on the boat, the 3 pirates tried to rob Zoro, but Zoro beat them up and made them row the boat instead. The 3 pirates told Zoro that they are the crew of a pirate named Buggy. This Buggy dresses up like a clown, and he also once ate a special fruit. Then the story cuts to a woman holding a map in her hand, with many of Buggy's crew chasing her to get the map back. Cutting back to Buggy's camp, someone saw the bird carrying Luffy flying in the sky. Then, Buggy ordered his crew to shoot it down, but they missed the bird and hit Luffy instead. After falling to the ground, Luffy met the woman that Buggy's crew was chasing. At that moment, she called Luffy boss and ran ahead. Because of that, Buggy's crew thought Luffy was her accomplice and tried to catch him, but they were beaten up by Luffy. After that, the woman returned to meet Luffy and told him her name is Nami. At that moment, she wanted to invite Luffy to work with her because she saw he was strong, but Luffy was too hungry to talk about work. So, Nami took Luffy to eat at a big house where she was temporarily staying. The people in the house had all fled because they were afraid of Buggy the pirate. Then, Nami told Luffy that she needed a huge amount of money, up to 100 million bully, but she didn't tell him what the money was for. She just wanted to ask Luffy to protect her because she wanted to go to the Grand Line. Nami has a map, and she's very good at navigating. When he found out Nami could navigate and read maps, Luffy invited her to join his crew, which made Nami realize that Luffy is a pirate. From the beginning, Nami has hated pirates, and she only steals treasure from pirates. At that moment, Nami pretended to agree to join Luffy's crew, but Luffy had to do one job for her first. The job was that she wanted Luffy to pretend to be her boss, in order to meet Buggy. When she arrived, she handed the map back to Buggy and told him that Luffy, her boss, ordered her to do it. Now she has betrayed her boss because she wants to join Buggy's crew. In fact, Nami's real intention was to find an opportunity to steal Buggy's treasure. After that, Buggy announced to his crew to prepare a party to welcome the new member. They were eating and drinking happily, and to make the party even more grand, Buggy ordered his crew to fire the large cannon and destroy many people's houses for fun. Seeing that, Nami felt very sad in her heart. Then Buggy said that he would use that cannon to become the king of the Grand Line. And when he heard that, Luffy argued back, saying that he was the future king of the Grand Line. After that, Buggy didn't want to argue with Luffy. He told Nami to use the big cannon to kill Luffy. At that moment, Nami had a hard time deciding, because if she didn't kill Luffy, they would kill her. When Nami hesitated for too long, one of Buggy's crew members came to light the cannon's fuse for her. At that moment, Nami couldn't stand by and watch. She pulled out her 3-section staff from her leg and knocked that guy out. Then, she used her hands to try to put out the fuse, but her hands were badly burned and in great pain. At the same time, 3 pirates jumped to attack her from behind, but Zoro arrived just in time to help. In the pirate world, everyone knows Zoro. He's famous for being a bounty hunter who hunts pirates, known as a pirate hunter. Generally, small-time pirates are very afraid of Zoro. But as for Buggy, he thought that if he could defeat Zoro, his fame would grow even more. Saying that, Buggy jumped to attack Zoro, but was cut into pieces by Zoro. Seeing that, Buggy's crew just laughed normally, which made Zoro very confused. And suddenly, his sword stabbed him from behind, piercing through to the front. The one who stabbed him was Buggy's hand. Buggy had eaten a special fruit just like Luffy, called the Chop Shop fruit. That fruit gives Buggy the special ability to split his body into pieces and control them from a distance. This means Zoro's swords can't do anything to Buggy. So Zoro thought of lifting the big cannon, aiming it at Buggy's crew, and telling Nami to light the fuse. Blank audio. After that, Zoro dragged the cage with Luffy inside to a safe place. There, Luffy saw a dog sitting stiffly like a statue, and when he went to pet it, the dog bit him. Then Nami arrived and she also threw the key to open the cage to Luffy. But when Luffy reached for it, the dog snatched the key and swallowed it. This made Luffy very angry, so he grabbed the dog and squeezed its neck, forcing it to spit the key back out. Seeing Luffy mistreating the dog, an old man arrived and shouted at him to stop. He is the mayor of this orange town. He was very kind. When he saw Zoro was injured, he took Zoro to rest at his house. Then the mayor said that the dog's name is Chaochu. 3 months ago, its owner got sick and passed away. But on the last day, when his owner went to the hospital, he asked it to watch over his pet food shop. That day he died at the hospital and couldn't come back. But the dog Chaochu still sits and guards the shop every day, especially during this time, when Buddy's pirate crew is harassing the town. Speaking of Buddy's crew, at that moment one of his crew members named Moji arrived. Moji has the ability to tame fierce animals and make them gentle, and his partner is a huge lion named Richie. To start, the lion Richie attacked Luffy, who was in its way. It wanted to go into the pet food shop, but the dog Chao Chu stood blocking the way to protect it. Even though it was much smaller than the lion, Chao Chu still went in to bite the lion without backing down. But no matter how brave the dog Chao Chu was, it couldn't defeat the lion. In the end, Moji burnt down Chao Chu's pet food shop. On that day, if Moji had just walked past, Luffy wouldn't have cared about him. But when Moji burned down the pet food shop, which the dog Chao Chu considered its treasure, Luffy understood the dog's feelings and had to get involved. To start, Moji ordered his lion to pounce on Luffy, but Luffy used his gum hammer technique to grab the lion and slam it to the ground. When Moji realized Luffy had special fruit powers, he got very scared and apologized profusely. But Luffy couldn't forgive his actions and had to chase him away. After that, Luffy's group went to meet Buddy again to get the Grand Line map and drive Buggy out of town. At that moment, the old mare seemed to be in more pain than anyone and wanted to rush towards Buggy recklessly, but Luffy pushed his head into a wall, knocking him unconscious. In fact, Luffy did that to protect his life, because if he had gone to fight, he could have been in mortal danger. Then Luffy shouted loudly at Buggy, "Hey Big Nose," and Buggy got very angry. "Who called me Big Nose?" Without waiting long, Buggy ordered them to fire the cannon at Luffy, but Luffy used a technique to become a giant balloon, causing the cannonball that hit him to bounce back. That explosion didn't kill Buggy because he used his crew as a shield. At that moment, Buggy also called for another of his loyal subordinates, named Kabeji. This Kabeji guy looked very fierce and strange too, because he rode a unicycle into the fighting ring. Seeing that Zoro had an injury on his stomach, Kabeji took the opportunity to use a technique to kick Zoro's old wound repeatedly, causing Kabeji great pain. But that wasn't enough to make Zoro give up. He could still endure it. Taking that opportunity, the clever Nami didn't just stand and watch. She took the chance to sneak away to collect treasure from Buggy. Returning to the fight between Zoro and Kabeji, Zoro hadn't had a chance to fight back yet. But when Kabeji was about to charge in to kill him, Zoro used just one move to defeat Kabeji. And not long after that, Zoro also fainted. Now, only Luffy was left to fight Buggy. Before they fought, Buggy said that seeing Luffy wearing a straw hat reminded him of the red-haired pirate named Shanks, whom he hated the most. Hearing that, Luffy became very interested and asked Buggy where Shanks was now. But Buggy didn't answer and started attacking Luffy. Luffy dodged all those attacks without any problem, and when Luffy had a chance to strike back, Buggy detached his neck to dodge Luffy's fist. In the next move, Buggy tore Luffy's hat, which made Luffy furious because Shanks had entrusted that hat to him, and he had to return it to Shanks one day. Knowing Luffy's weakness, Buggy used his flying hands to pierce Luffy's hat in even more places to taunt him. At that point, Luffy couldn't hold back his anger and rushed to kick Buggy. "Tell me right now, you big mouth. Where is Shanks?" After that, Buggy took the opportunity to tell some of the history between him and Shanks. They used to be on the same boat and always argued like friends. One day, they encountered another pirate crew in a fight, and Buggy managed to get a map to an underwater treasure, which he kept secret from everyone. Sometime later, Shanks came and told him that their crew had found a special fruit called the Chop Chop fruit. That fruit indeed grants them special abilities, but whoever eats it will lose the ability to swim. That's why no one in the pirate crew dared to eat it. However, the price of that fruit was very high. It could be sold for over 100 million bully. A few days later, Buggy used a trick to get that special fruit for himself. He wanted to sell it for money to fund his search for the underwater treasure according to his map. But coincidentally that night, Shanks caught him, and not knowing where to hide it, he put it in his mouth. Then, Shanks unintentionally startled him, causing him to accidentally swallow it. To make matters worse, his treasure map fell into the water, and he jumped in after it. As soon as he entered the water, Buggy froze up and couldn't move. If it weren't for Shanks helping him, Buggy would have drowned and died. But from that day on, Buggy never thanked Shanks. He just blamed him, saying that Shanks made him lose everything. Saying this, Buggy split his body in half and flew upwards to use his super move to deal with Luffy. But by chance, he saw Nami, who had stolen his treasure, and flew after her. When he almost caught up, he suddenly froze because Luffy had kicked his lower half, aiming between his legs. Then Luffy told Nami to drop the treasure and run if she didn't want to get hurt. But Nami refused, saying the treasure was hers now. Hearing that, Buggy scolded her, saying, "Don't you have parents to teach you manners? Stealing things and claiming they're yours." But Nami retorted, "Then that treasure isn't Buggy's either, because Buggy also robbed it from someone else." Then, Buggy got very angry and split his body into many pieces, chasing Nami to get the treasure back. At that moment, Buggy was about to catch and kill Nami, but luckily Luffy came to the rescue. Just when they thought they had dealt with Buggy, Buggy got back up and threatened to use his final move to finish them. At that moment, Buggy used a technique to reassemble himself, but he ended up as a midget because parts of his body were tied up by Nami. To finish it off, Luffy used his Gum Bazooka technique, stretching both arms back very far, and sent Buggy flying far away out of sight. After the story ended, Luffy picked up his torn hat and put it back on, and Nami said she would help sew it back for him when she had free time. After that, Nami handed the Grand Line map to Luffy, while she would take all the treasure, which is worth about 10 million bully. And from that moment on, Nami willingly joined Luffy's crew. Then many townspeople gathered there to deal with the pirate crew. When they arrived, they saw the mayor unconscious there and assumed that the pirate crew had beaten him. Then Luffy said bluntly that he was the one who hit him, and he was also a pirate. Hey, you idiot! Why did you tell them the truth like that? At that moment, the townspeople got very angry and chased after them. And on the way, they also saw the dog Chao-Chu, who at that moment helped to block the townspeople from chasing them. After that, the mayor regained consciousness, and when he learned that Luffy's group was still alive, he ran after them to the port to thank them for saving his life. And at that moment, Luffy also left a bag of treasure for the mayor to rebuild the city. When the boat had sailed a little further, Nami realized that one of her bags of treasure was missing, which made her so angry she wanted to kill Luffy. Thank you everyone for watching this story with me. If you think this story is good, please give it a like and a comment. And for those who haven't subscribed to the Monojornai channel yet, please subscribe to help support and encourage me. For now, thank you. I wish you good health and a bright future.